So my inner monologue told me I was never going to make this video, and I never wanted to make this video because I've actually been enjoying myself on Throne of Liberty for the past week and a half, well, probably 2 weeks now because I bought early access. But when I saw Shroud's opinion hit my YouTube recommendation saying that the pay to win in Throne of Liberty isn't that bad, I felt like I needed to say something because there's no way that this man is saying that pay to win is good.
I mean, it's not for sure that they'll bring pay to win back. It's not for sure that they'll bring it back into the game. But they should.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
I think he's
you piece of shit.
What?
Who do you think you are?
And I think that's part of the reason, like, with my main enjoyment with Throne of Liberty, I love the game to death right now, and I'm kind of addicted to it. The only thing that falls flat is if you want to maintain competitiveness and you want to actually play the game, now that we're a week and a little bit so into the free release, we're starting to realize more and more all the co-op dungeons are getting gear gated to the point where people are making the dungeons, you have to be 2,500 plus, or you have to be 3,000 plus to join my party, and if you don't, you're just kind of suffering with people in random matchmaking queue, and not even on top of that, you have people in the mega guilds that are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars and dominating servers that you're on. And there's a lot of people I know that are like, dude, my server's getting dominated. Maybe I just picked the wrong server. Well, if everybody is saying that, you probably did not pick the wrong server. We probably picked the wrong game. And I think if every new player is starting to experience this and feeling the effects of pay to win, is the game really worth playing? And then you ask yourself, sure, I could play MMOs at my own pace. That's the entire point of an MMO. So I'm going to play it at my own pace. But the unfortunate thing is 99% of the good content in this game and the good gear in this game is locked behind having a somewhat decent guild. And even then, if you find a guild that seems to be active, they may not even be a good guild, or they might not be an active guild. There's so many variables in this game. And I think it's coming from, this is my opinion, coming from the more western side of Earth, talking about like United States and all that. When I look at games like this, I look at Lost Ark, the game I kind of had honeymoon phases with and I really enjoyed, and I feel like it's almost deja vu. Like Lost Ark, I love the characters, love the game, the gameplay was okay, it felt good, visually appealing, cool bosses, and I feel that with Throne and Liberty. But now I'm hitting that phase where I'm starting to think my honeymoon phase with Throne and Liberty is slowly diminishing when you realize that most of the mid to late game, it's either farming blues for traits or spending money on the auction house for traits. Why would I farm blues for multiple hours when I could just spend $2-3 on blues on the auction house and get my gear up in no time? And I think this is just the first stage of this taking effect. I don't know if other people feel the same way, but I have now 238 hours into the game. I do work, so I can't play 24/7, so I know there's going to be people with a lot more hours than I do. After 200 hours, it feels the same as it did in the first 10 hours. And that's not necessarily bad. Sometimes that's really good for games, but I feel like it's going to be the same thing when it comes to the monotony of getting gear. You kind of get that dopamine of when you get a purple, but then you realize you have to trait your purple, and if your purple is from a world drop boss that only drops from your guild, and your guild doesn't give you the item that drops even though you got it because your guild wants to spread the Lucent to other people, how are you supposed to max out your world drops from bosses? And the reality of it is either spend money on the auction house and get the traits you need, maybe get lucky and get it to drop for yourself and have your guild give it to you, or you could boost your blessings with a bunch of blues and then infuse it into another blue, which guess what, still costs more Lucent, which is the paid currency. Or you can take the other route where you would just unlock your trait stones and then buy a bunch of blues, but once again you're spending Lucent. And yes, you can make Lucent for free, but you're actively holding back your progression. You're spending your time to get a premium currency to save you time, so are you really saving time? When alternatively, you have somebody else that is just swiping their credit card and getting the same benefits you are with none of the work. And I think that's where the problem lies. Even though I'm learning more about this game, I'm enjoying more about this game to the point where I'm probably saying I'm more knowledgeable now than I was a week ago, which is a good thing. I'm learning. I'm starting to see the cracks in the facade. I'm starting to see why people kind of were turned off at this game initially, and I'm definitely starting to see the more pay to win aspects. And going back on Shroud a little bit, how he mentioned the pay to win isn't that bad. I mean, sure, the pay to win isn't too bad compared to like Lost Ark or something, but pay to win existing within a game that isn't bad is still bad. This is coming from somebody, I know this is probably going to make 14 15,000 people click off right now. This is coming from somebody that loves New World, and I love the combat in New World. I like the PvP in New World, and I recently went back to New World to turn them, and it made me realize why I liked New World so much. Yes, it lacked content, and it still lacks content, and it lacks endgame, but one thing that game does better, and I think will always do better than Throne and Liberty could ever do, is when you're in PvP, when you're in combat, or when you're getting gear, you feel rewarded for your time. When I go to Throne and Liberty and I spend so much time on something, I do not feel rewarded for my time whatsoever. And not being rewarded for your time in an MMO, I think, is a flawed system for an MMO. Could you pay to win in New World or any other MMO and buy gold on G2G? Yeah, obviously you could. But I think Throne and Liberty is even worse. People are paying $2,000 for a freaking sword. Dude, a sword? If I was going to buy a $2,000 sword, that shit better be delivered to my front doorstep with a hooker that's going to give me a blowy. Because there is no way I am buying a $2,000 virtual sword that's probably not even going to be good in the next 4 to 5 months when new content comes to the game. And the people out there defending the fact that you can buy $1,000 weapons and it's part of the game and it's something that you don't have to do, but people are actively doing it, honestly could lick a boot, okay? I'm going to say it politely so I don't get demonetized. But anyone out there defending the fact that buying a $2,000 sword is actually a really good deal because it's really hard to obtain and you have to go do this and this and you have to get a guild world drop and a fairy dust. Bro, I do not care. I do not care at all. So what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my opinions on the future of my content in the game? Well, maybe this is going to be another one of those videos where I just vent and I'm completely wrong about the pay to win. But from my knowledge and everything I know about the game, there is no way in God's green earth, or even somebody that works from home virtually and plays on their other monitor, could keep up with people that are spending even the smallest amounts of money. You could spend $10, $20 and skip hours of grinding. You could spend $50 and skip days of grinding. So when I go into that and I reflect, maybe New World is something that's making me feel this way. When I reflect compared to other MMOs, I think with Throne and Liberty at its current moment, I'm going to maybe slow down a bit. I don't know if I'm going to quit it, but I'm going to slow down. I was trying to be competitive. I was trying to play as much as I can. I was trying to learn as much as I can, as quick as I can, to provide some half-decent content for my viewers on the channel. And I tried my best to do that, but I still feel like no matter what I try to do or what me and my friends try to do, it just ends up being the same thing over and over. You have to do this. You have to spend Lucent. You have to spend Lucent. Oh, it's the whole community. That's their answer. Even with the guild I'm in, it's spend your Lucent. Make sure you spend your Lucent for better gear. So with the lack of free-to-play friendliness, I just think it's probably my time to step away. But let me know. Do you guys feel the same way? Am I just alone with my yip-yappeting? But yeah, that's the current state of Throne and Liberty and its pay to win, and why I think it's probably not going to last long on the Western market. But yeah, that's the video. That's a rant, Termex, and yeah, I'll see you all later.